So let me ask some of you guys, on the entry into the rattlesnake, how many of you feel like the bike's in too tall of a gear, or you're coming through there and the bike just doesn't have any power going through rattlesnake? Anybody experiencing that? Yeah? Okay. That is usually due to probably not being in the right gear or not actually matching the actual RPMs to the gear you're in on the bike. So we have a technique that we call blipping the throttle while downshifting. I just want to kind of talk about that real quick. So most places that it's really going to help you blipping your throttle before downshifting is on the entry into the rattlesnake, steep bend, buzzard's neck, and little bend. I have a lot of people tell me, hey, I'm coming into the rattlesnake, and when I get in there, I go to move through there, and I weight my pegs, and I'm doing what you're telling me, but then I get on the throttle, and the bike feels like it has no power. Well, that means you're in too tall of a gear. So as we're entering into the actual rattlesnake, or actually coming off of any straightaway, coming into a turn, the reason that we blip our throttle is to actually match the RPMs of the bike to what gear you're in, right? So I don't know how many of you guys actually use blipping the throttle technique, but if you ever watch these guys on MotoGP, World Superbike, they have slipper clutches in their bikes, and they still blip the throttle. You watch them coming down the straight, and you see them blip, 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 downshift, blip. And what they're doing is they're getting the bike's RPMs matched so that when they throw it into the corner, all that power is on tap. All they have to do is barely even regulate, do some maintenance throttle, and the bike's where it needs to be in the power band. So if you guys are coming through there and you feel like the bike's not handling right, or it just doesn't feel like it's pulling out of there, then we need to be downshifting right before the entry, and we need to be blipping our throttle on our downshifts to get the revs or the RPMs to match the gearbox. And it's real noticeable coming into the entry, and of course any of these big sweeping turns, always get a good blip in to get that thing set up. That's how you get drive out at any corner, is having the RPMs matched to the gearbox so that when you get on the throttle, that power's on tap. If you come out of a turn and you're only at 3,000 RPMs and you're in a gear too tall, the bike's just going to bog on you, and you're not going to get any drive out the exit. So blipping the throttle is a big thing. And it's something that you can do out on the street, even practicing pulling up to a stoplight, coming home down your driveway or whatever, coming up to a stoplight, practice blipping your throttle before your downshift. Match your gears up. Start practice on doing that while you're out on the road. But it's a great technique for out on the racetrack as well. And I use it all the time. I blip everywhere. On every downshift, I blip my throttle. And it's not just because cowies have bad transmissions. It's just because it's a great technique to keep the bike in the RPM range where you need it to be.
It's about being smooth too. If you miss it, you'll know because the rear end starts to hop and chatters and because you didn't match it right or.
Absolutely. How many of you guys have felt your back end step out when you drop the clutch out when you're downshifting? Okay. So what we do is coming into it, blipping the throttle gets it matched to the gear so that when you let out that clutch, the RPMs are right where they need to be, okay? It's a good technique. Read through the handout. We're going to talk about some counter steering later on too, but race techniques, blipping the throttle. We're going to talk about some body position here in a little while, but I can't stress enough about how important the entry into the rattlesnake is. If you want to get fast on this track, you've got to learn how to get fast through the rattlesnake. It's just proven, known fact. Ask Ty. He turned a 113 out here, okay? Put a lap timer on your bike, go see what you're running, and then say, okay, Ty's 113. Maybe he knows a little something about the lines through this track. So, and that's who I followed. That's where I stole most of my lines through. But when I first started racing, I was like, man, there's got to be a better way to get through here. How do I learn this? And then, Ty or somebody would come by, and I'd just try to get on their tail and follow them. So, if you are working with your instructor and you feel there's a turn set that you really need work with, make sure you tell them that, okay? Make sure you let us know where you're having problems.
But right now, don't worry about the speed.
Yeah, that'll come later. Worry about the technique first. Worry about blipping your throttle, getting smooth on your downshifts, being where you need to be on the racetrack, and then later on today, it'll all start falling into place for you guys. Yeah.